Good afternoon to everyone. My name is Yashwanth. I am a co-founder of People Tech Ventures. We build location-based mobile applications for offline e-commerce. So let me just start with a video demo of our application DelightCircle.
Circle, where you will find offers, new arrivals, and earn rewards from 100+ brands and retailers around you. We are revolutionizing the consumer shopping experience from local retailers. You open the app and it picks up your current location. I'm currently at Malleshwaram, Bangalore. Click on Nearby. Here, you see a list not only of stores around you, but also various offers and new arrivals running in those stores. No more junk SMS, emails and newspaper advertisements to find the best offer. All you need is DelightCircle app on your smartphone. Let's click on Reliance Jewels. This is the mobile page of Reliance Jewels. We have mapped out not just the addresses, but also phone numbers. The wall shows everything that's going on in Reliance Jewels. As you can see, Reliance Jewels has 6 offers and 3 new arrivals. Also, you can get 200 Delight points by walking into the store. So let's walk in and earn the reward. The way it works is you press walk in and scan the QR code and earn points. The scanning of QR code is not shown in the video. QR code standee will be placed at the entrance of the store. In some stores, we have a device installed that automatically detects that you have walked in. It's magical. Let's click on offers. Here, you can see various offers from Reliance Jewels. If you tap on info, you get to see some more details about that offer. To redeem the offer, press redeem button and follow the instructions. In some cases, there might be a promo code that needs to be given to point of sale person. Now let's check out some new arrivals. This is like window shopping on your phone. Now let's say I wanted to buy jeans and want to know the latest offers and new arrivals. No problem. Just go to offers and type in jeans and see all the offers and new arrivals that are available for jeans around my location. Wow! Never miss out on a cool offer and new trends. What if I'm not near the store? Can I still see offers and new arrivals from my favorite stores and brands? Yes, you can. Just click on favorites and here you can store all the stores and brands that you like and regularly like to follow. For example, here you have Lawrence and Mayo. You can see all the offers and new arrivals that are currently going on at Lawrence and Mayo. Similarly, you can see all the various stores you're interested in. Favorite a store and 24/7 you will be informed. Do you forget your loyalty cards very often and miss out on points? No problem. You have DelightCircle at your disposal. Just tap on cards and you can store all your loyalty cards at one place so that you never forget them again. Enter the number and press save. Finally, the best part is the rewards. You can redeem your Delight points to win any of these rewards. Tap on options and press the redeem button, follow the instructions and the reward is yours.
So that was the demo video. Hope you all liked it and try our application. It's available on Android, iOS and BlackBerry. So that was our product DelightCircle. So in our DelightCircle, we show the offers, new arrivals and rewards of various stores across the country. So we currently cover around 250+ brands and around 12,000+ stores. So you can also find the places nearby in our application and also engage with your favorite brands. Like let's say we just shown that you can walk into Reliance Jewels and you can obtain some real rewards. So if you don't have a smartphone, you can just try our SMS application for our featured users. So just type SMS @delight to give a number, and you can get the relevant information. So, and also we have the website where we can display the content of various stores. You can try DelightCircle.com and you can see that. So we released around end of June. So these are some of the highlights we have achieved so far. ThinkDigit reviewed our application last month, and it says that and it's a must app for shopaholics in whoever has a smartphone. And in NASCOM Emerge Frame, we were among the top 6 apps selected in the country. So DelightCircle was also featured on Samsung App Stores and BlackBerry App World. So that was our product DelightCircle, and we started our DelightCircle development around 1 year back. The 1 year which it took was, why it has taken 1 year is that we have developed all our, we have released all our application in all the platforms within a span of 1 month. So you can understand like how much development effort was taken. So regarding Android, I'm the Android developer for DelightCircle. So I've encountered a lot of experiences, so which I would like to share with you right now. So let's go through. Since ours is a location-based application, let's start with how to get the location very efficiently. So as you all know, Android location can be obtained through 2 ways. First, just start with the wireless networks. So Android gives you location if you connect it to the Wi-Fi, or when you connect it to the network, let's say via 3G or something like that. So one of the advantages of Wi-Fi is that it gives your location very fast, like everything is, let's say within a span of 5 seconds. But the main, it's not as accurate as we want it to be. So your cell tower might be located around 1 kilometer from wherever your current location is. So the Android might give you that location rather than wherever you are right now. So another locational listener which Android provides is the GPS, which you might have already known. So, but the problem with the GPS is that it takes a lot of time. When you go to a new place, it takes a lot of time to get the initial fix. So, and also the greatest advantage is that you get the location through satellite, so it's almost accurate. So what we do is we use a mix of all these things to get our location very efficiently. So this is how you get your location. This was taken from the Google website, this image. So first you get the location. Actually Android has something called cached location. It already, if some other app has used a location feature, let's say like Foursquare, then it stores the location in the device. So why not just, if the user has used that application 5 minutes back, just why not use the same location in your app. So first we get the cached location from the Android device, and then we check if the cached location is very old. So if it's very old, you don't want to use the same same location. So based on that, you'll have to take a decision. So let's say if it's greater than 10 minutes, you might have to discard that application, then start polling for the location listeners, which I've already mentioned, like wireless and GPS. Since wireless is fast, let's start with the wireless. So wireless will give you the location within 5 seconds, as I've just said already. So in this case, where the cached location is not feasible for you to use, then you might want to start both the location listeners. So first you get the location from wireless. If it's switched on, actually the user has to give the permission for your device to get the location. There is something called location security in your Android device, where the user enables if it has to poll the location. So if the wireless network's permission is given, then you'll get the location from wireless, and same applies to the GPS. So whenever you get the location from these both listeners, just first most probably you'll get the location from wireless, and then just update the location with your GPS results, and then start polling your server for whatever the relevant information you require. So one more thing is that the location is obtained from lat long. So lat long, you can't just show the lat long to the user because it's not understandable. So what do you do to make lat long convert to your address which is human readable? Android already provides this geocoder class, which is pretty useful to convert lat long into human readable address. So that's on the location part. And one more thing which is pretty interesting is that the GCM, as you might all know, it's a Google Cloud Messaging. So I'll tell you why GCM is. Let's say, it's one of the best ways to prompt the user to use your application. So as you might have known, once you release the app, you don't have further communication with your users. But if you integrate your GCM library into your application, then you can easily contact your user. So one of the things you need to be careful about GCM is that you can't just spam the user with all your notifications every day. So during our experience for the past 3 months, we tried an approach pushing the notification for around one notification for 2 days. Then it was a horrible experience. We got a review also that DelightCircle is pushing too much. I'm going to uninstall the application. So you might want to be careful for when using this push notifications. So one of the key feature, I believe, I don't know how many of you know this, but you can track the uninstalls. Whoever has uninstalled your application using GCM. So I'll explain you how to track the uninstalls in the next slide. So one of the use cases of GCM is that, let's say, in our particular case, we want to target some users around a particular location. Then we already have mapped that location in our database. Let's say this particular user who is using a particular device and is at a particular location. Then we might have to push a store around the location. A offer belongs to that store, and we might have to push it to the particular device. Then GCM comes in handy here. So what we do is we just, when we register for the GCM returns your terminal ID or device ID based on your app registration and all. So you store that in your database and you map it to your user, a real-time user who has registered with your application. Then you know that this particular user is using a particular device. After that, then it's a straightforward thing. You just have to give the device ID to the Google and also the messages, what messages needs to be pushed. So that is what I meant by specific selective push notifications. So how to track user uninstalls? There is a simple thing called, when you try to, when you try to push to the particular user, Google GCM returns something called a key, which says that the user, it could not deliver the push notification. It might be probably because of the user has uninstalled your application. So that way you can just keep track of whoever the user has uninstalled your application. Google also recommends that in your database just remove the terminal ID so that it doesn't have to send the push notification again later. So one thing is that when the user reinstalls the application again, then you might have to map your databases accordingly with the new device ID provided. So that's one of the cool things I think you can, if you know whoever is uninstalling your application and you can track that user, maybe you can get the feedback about why he has actually uninstalled the application, maybe because of battery problems, maybe because of the slow internet connection he's experiencing. It's pretty useful actually to rebuild your application. So one of the things I feel is that once we try to contact a user via email, and it has taken around like 1 day or 2 days, and some users take around 4 to 6 hours. But what we did is we try to, like a chat thing, we try to communicate directly to the user, and the response is within 2 to 3 minutes. It's very awesome. So one more thing, DelightCircle has that QR code scanner. We generally use QR code scanner for walking into the stores. Let's say you have gone to a particular store. This particular store displays a QR code, and when you scan that QR code, we detect that the user is at a particular store. So actually DelightCircle, our first problem was how do we scan the QR codes, and actually we also thought that we would be scanning the products, but we were restricted to only this QR code scanner, and we thought let's try to build one, and it was very cumbersome, and it was, we couldn't start. Then we came across open source library Z-Crossing. This is very good and it's very easy to use. So Z-crossing provides you scanning for almost many of the formats, like, I mean, QR code scanner is one of the, many people use this QR code scanner, and it also provides a feature to scan many barcode formats. So one thing to keep note is that while using QR code, this Z-crossing library, if you already mention that which type of barcode you are going to scan, then it makes your runtime faster. Like it will detect the barcode very fast. So and Z-cross, these are some of the findings which I had to do while integrating into a DelightCircle application. So it comes along with some sharing options, and also when you scan a barcode, it tries to search for the product over the internet. But you don't want to, I mean, if you want to customize your, approach of this QR code scanner, then you might have to rebuild these features. And one more thing I feel which is important for a product is that analytics. Why analytics? Let's go through some of the questions what usually developers come across while dispatching, after dispatching their application. So who are the users actually using your application? So if you're releasing a game or something, you might ignore these things. But if you're releasing a product, like let's say in our case, then we are interested to know who are the which age group, which where the location the user is based, and all those stuff. So how many users are using your app daily? How many users are using it weekly? How many users are using it monthly? So you might want to do all this statistics stuff. I'll tell you the use case after we'll go through all of these questions. So where are my users based from? Let's say you are an Indian developer and you want to track, where are your location, app is being used. Based on that, you might want to do something else. And what point of the day is your app being, reaching your maximum bandwidth? Then you can probably load your servers, for better performance. And let's say, for an enterprise app, you just, sometimes you just have to run the ads on AdMob or some other medium to get the users know about your application. So is your ad really working? Then you might want to track, use some analytics to do that. So there are some pretty good tools to do that. One is Flurry and Google Analytics. So these are the two application, analytics tools which you can use. Actually, these two are very good, and they show your charts and which user of a particular demography is using your application, and how much time is he spending on your application. And there is something called page views, if you might have already known about it. So page views just says that a particular user, let's say regarding Android, you can attach a page view to a fragment or an activity. So when you switch from an activity, then you can consider it as a particular activity as a single page view. So you can also track some particular actions, which, let's say your action bar has some 3 action items. Then you want to track how many, which action item is being used the most. Then you can just call a track event, a call from one of these analytics, and then you can measure which action item is being used the most. That's one of the use cases. And most important thing is that after these analytics, you must be releasing versions of your application, which is very important. Based on this, you can't just release blindly upon your intuition. The user will receive this very good. So this analytics comes into use here. So let's say user some action but item is not being used very frequently, then you might want to replace it with a different icon. Maybe users haven't recognized the icons, or maybe he's not interested in that particular feature. So based on the analytics, you can just rebuild your application, and it's going to be very helpful. So I think analytics is one of the backbones for your application. So coming to the UI UX, so there is something called Android web. On Android web pages, you can find Android UI design principles. It pretty much mapped out everything you want to try. You can try, and based upon their feedback, they have mentioned different design principles, like how to use a grid view, how to use a selection list, how to use all those, how to use the themes, how to use, and which icons to be used for the share, which icons to be used for going to the next window, and how to design your action bars. All these things are mentioned on this page. You can just search for this in Google, and you'll be redirected to that page. And one more thing, it's pretty standard, like you'll have to use the intuitive widgets, like scrolling, you'll just have to use list views, and let's say for sharing icons, you can't just use iOS icons in Android. So you have to use platform specific buttons, patterns, like square thing. iOS is more like a rounded thing. So one thing I would like to say is that during our past experience, like we started initially with the activities, and then we found it difficult to do large number of iterations based on the design. Like during our past 1 year, most of the development time was taken to do the design iteration, like how the UI should look like, what colors to we use, and all those stuff. So one thing came to my use is that fragments. Like let's say you want to show a particular part of the fragment in a different activity, then you just have to replace the fragment from one activity to another activity. So let's say that is not a particular use case. You can also do it with the activities, but let's say you have tabs. Initially you had 4 tabs, now you have to remove it, make it to the 3 tabs, and then where do you keep that 4th tab? You might want to switch it to the action bar item. If you click on that action bar item, you just have to take this to a new activity. That's where the fragments, I feel like it comes into advantage, and also when you design the application for tablets, and these fragments come into pretty handy. So while designing the application, let's say, so you're not designing the application for a single, the device which you're going to test. Let's say you have some HDPI device or XHDPI device. So you usually generally test on these kind of applications, but LDPI is something which you need to take care about, because in India LDPI devices are the most, and they are the people who is gonna use your application the most. Based on the statistics which I have known, I could tell you that LDPI device users are the most active. So one thing LDPI device doesn't have is that more real estate. So you might want to check your design specs, and also one thing which is imperative is that you'll have to test all application on all the screen resolutions. You have the emulators for all these resolutions, and also for all the OS versions 4.1, 4.2, and pre 2, all those things, OS versions. So one thing is that first design your wireframes. That's very important. Even if your application is 2 activities, or think about like how the user is going to interact with your application, like which buttons are necessary to be highlighted and which buttons needs to be popped up in between to get the user attention. So, and one thing which is last but not least is that you are a designer. Let's say you have some UX designer or someone who is going to do all these photos, PNG, 9-patch images and all those stuff. So you just have to tell your user, designer, how you are going to implement this particular layout or activity. So if let's say you have some background and you might want to repeat it, or you just have to use a static layout, you are going to stretch it. So depending upon your implementation, the designer can provide you the right set of images or a right set of designs. So that's pretty much about it. Yeah, that's pretty much about DelightCircle and Android development features which I have encountered, which I could share. Any questions?
I had a question regarding on your last slide.
Yeah.
Can you elaborate in non-technical terms on what you mean by use fragments rather than activities? Can you give an example just to understand what you mean by that?
Just now I give an example. Let's say your main activity has some 4 tabs, and each tab you populate it via fragments. Let's say when you click on the first tab, you populate it with the fragment 1, and later after 2 months you just want to replace it, concise it to the 3 tabs. So you are removing the fragment 1 to somewhere else. So if you do that, then fragment 1 can be embedded. It's like, imagine that activity is a root and then fragments are its children. So if you want to redesign your application, just take a different root which is called as activity, then pull this children and then attach it to the different activity. Then it's quite useful instead of building you don't have to change the manifest or anything. If it's a new activity, then you might have to change your manifest, but if it's already existing activity, then you don't have to do that. Yeah.
The point that you raised about tracking push notifications within uninstalls.
Yeah.
In a case where the server sends a push notification to the client, when the sender ID doesn't match, it throws out a mismatch sender ID exception.
Okay.
So my question was, what is the particular type of exception that it throws out?
Not registered.
Not installed.
Not registered. Then
for push uninstalling.
Not registered. Then it basically checks the package ID, and then if a package ID is not present on the particular device, then it sends back you the not registered key to your database.
So that is unique to that exception.
Yeah, that's right.
Thank you.
Hi, Vaidyanathan here.
Yeah.
So the QR code part, right?
Yes.
So why would anyone want to scan the QR code? I mean, what is the advantage they're getting?
QR code, first we came up with the approach, we want to detect a particular user whether he is present in at a particular location. Then we thought, usually it goes via signals and all this Bluetooth communication, but we don't want to, we just wanted to develop a quick prototype. Then what is the best way to detect whether the user is a particular place? You just have to place that QR code at that store. If he is scanning it from that place, then you know approximately that. You can also, there is a loophole in this, but most probably for the novice users who doesn't know how to manipulate the QR code, they are at that particular location. So that's what the use case is about the QR code.
More like I was asking, if someone could scan your QR code, they could create that QR code again.
Yeah, that's what I said. Like we also have this location. Like let's say you took that QR code and you are sitting at your home and you are scanning it. Then we also have this location approach where we check whether the user is in 0.5 kilometers around that shop. Based on that approach, we know that whether user is sitting at his home or whether he is at the shop.
Okay, thank you.
Hi, this is Jay Krishna. You told that you will be sending push notifications through the Google Cloud Messaging.
Yeah, that's
and if that is not received, you are considering that as an uninstall of the application.
No. That's what I'm not saying. Like Google actually returns you a key called not registered. Based on that, then I decide that the particular application has been uninstalled on the device.
If because of some reasons the user
because of the reason there will be only a delay in receiving your push notification.
Sorry, I didn't get you.
The reasons might be I haven't gone through entire that key it returns, but this is the main key what I have observed practically, which like I send push notifications to around like 10,000 users, and I see all that log which is written by generally GCM. On not most of them, all of them are either success or not registered. So I know that this is the key which is basically
let's consider a success user. He registered with the GCM and everything is working fine,
yeah.
But because of some reasons he was unable to.
In that case, Google assures that unless he is not if whenever he connects to the internet, he'll get the notification. So there will be only a delay in receiving the notification.
In case of poor network connection or long-term disconnection with the network, will you consider that one also as an uninstall?
That depends upon how. Like I said, like whatever the Google is returning, let's say only if it returns not registered, then I treat it as a uninstall, or I'll ignore the rest of the keys. I only check for if it's returning a not registered key.
Okay, thank you.
Hi. So in DelightCircle, what kind of push notifications are you sending here?
Let's say, I could say, like you have seen in the demo, like Reliance Jewels, like who buy the jewelry, generally women. So we map in our backend key, this user is using a particular device. Then I know that particular user is female, and she is interested in going to. Let's say she has walked into Reliance Jewels. Most probably she goes to that Reliance Jewels every day. So it's imperative that she is interested in that offer. So we generally push that offers to that particular lady.
Okay, so just by the and you get whether the lady entered the store by scanning the QR code, right? So only if I
Scanning the QR code is just for the walk-in part. This is like whenever she installs her application, we know that this particular user is using this device, and we just send the notification to that device.
Okay, so I just want to know whether that approach, like suppose I enter a store and I get a notification, okay, in this particular store you have this many discounts. So I personally think that that is a better approach. Like when a user enters a store, as soon as he enters, he should get the notification.
Okay, in our application, what happens is that when you try to walk into the store, you'll actually have to go to that particular place where we display the offers and new arrivals. So she almost gets the information whatever she needs about that store updated whenever she visits that page.
Okay, thank you.
Hi.
Hi.
Srinivas here. So I had a question on the data you guys are using right now.
Okay.
So do you guys use any third-party APIs, or are you curating your own data, like the offers and the local businesses?
We use mixed kind of data. We use Google Analytics, we use RO Analytics to do that.
So so there is no actual workforce involved in manual labor
So
involved
I can't tell you that product information because it's just an Android conference.
Okay, all right, thank you.
So that's it. So thank you for DroidCon for giving me this opportunity. And if anyone is interested, we are hiring some interns. So you can just